I'd like to introduce the Cecil Lear President's Award, named in honor of the Hall of Fame's co-founder and president for 20 years, from 1996 to 2016. Although Cecil hardly needs an introduction, I'll say a few words. I love him. This guy's incredible. Stories you can't believe. Long before Cecil and Greg Noel Colin founded the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame, Cecil and his friend Rudy Huber co-founded the ESA, which celebrated its 50th anniversary a couple years ago. Before that, Cecil founded the New Jersey Surfing Association. Cecil received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Surfing Heritage and Cultural Center in San Clemente, California some years ago, and recently, as we mentioned, honored in the Huntington Beach Surfers Walk of Fame. I just blew it again. Anyway, I'll bring Cecil up. Thank you.
Hi again. First of all, I want to welcome all you champions and inductees. It's great to be on the stage with you. And it's great to see all our people here who've been so involved with this, so that I'll say that. I'm here to give the second Cecil Lear President's Award to Kathy Phillips, one of my really, really true dear friends and longtime associates. Kathy, come on up. I want her to stand here next to me.
All right, good.
Because
No crying, no crying.
So the thing I want to say about Kathy is when we started this, I don't know, Kathy was a young girl. Colin took over, did a wonderful job, and then unfortunately we lost him. Kathy was working with Colin with all the different judging and running the contest, right? And we needed someone quickly to keep the ESA going. The ad hoc committee said we'd have someone. I didn't know Kathy, but I got to know her over the years. And she is one of the most unbelievable people, so really organized, took the ESA from the level that Doc brought it to and made us a worldwide organization that is honored by everybody in surfing. She actually grew the ESA to become the largest in the world, actually. And she was doing that from 1990 to 2015. We talked her into staying longer because she was going to retire and go somewhere else. And she kept on, and God love her. Kathy, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Cecil.
Okay.
You do it.
I give you Kathy.
Whoa, okay. Thank you so much, Cecil. And I'm still holding it together. We made a promise to each other that we wouldn't cry talking about this. But I also want to thank the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame and the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame board for this honor tonight. And yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to Mez for digging really deep to find some photos of me, because I hate having my picture taken, and somehow he's managed to find a few to put up there. So, you know, I got to talk story for a minute with everybody before I go into my speech, because this man behind me, in the mid-'60s, he was driving down the East Coast with the love of his life by his side. Where are you, Mary Lou? Anyway, I can't see. Raise your hand. Well, anyway, there she is in the back. He and Mary Lou driving down the East Coast of the U.S. to go to the next competition that was in a series of contests. This was before the Eastern Surfing Association. It was a series of contests being run from New England down to Florida. And at the end, it would determine who was the champion of the East Coast and would go to surf in the U.S. Championships. There's Mary Lou sitting next to him, tabulating the heats from the previous event and actually creating the heats for the next event that they were driving to. 2 days ago, I'm texting with Cecil, and there's Cecil with the love of his life sitting next to him, and they're driving down the East Coast, here to Florida, to the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame. And I gotta tell you, I mean, this man just celebrated his 91st birthday. Yeah! So, I'm talking goals. I'm talking goals here, people, okay? We gotta live up to this, definitely. So, East Coast surfing has a culture of giving back to the sport. The culture within the Eastern Surfing Association is more like a culture of service, helping one another, volunteering time, making the day about fun and family. The years I spent with the ESA afforded me with a very rare opportunity. The opportunity to work on building something meaningful alongside others who shared my enthusiasm and my desire to create a valid, representative structure for the sport of surfing. And after Doc's untimely passing, I found myself thrust into managing an organization he had run for years. And so I gathered my mentors around me, like Bob McDonough, who, by the way, is an East Coaster, even though he's lived on the West Coast for most of his life. And Bob is a Hall of Famer, also. PT, who is an East Coaster also, but just from a different continent. Kid Henningsen, longtime member of the Eastern Surfing Association. Mentors like Harry Perkey, Russ Atwell, who were running the competition programs for the ESA, and yes, of course, Cecil Lear. And with these mentors supporting me, I went to work. South Jersey had a tech nerd, I'll call him a tech nerd at that time, Tom McLaren. Yep. Tom introduced the first computer and printer to the Easterns and the ESA regionals in the early 80s, and he was using them to build heats. Prior to his service of sharing resources to the ESA, it was usually a bunch of us sitting in a hotel room at the Surf Motel, writing up heats by hand with carbon paper between the sheets of paper in order to get the heats written for the competition the next day. And we were drinking a lot of wine while we did that. And we'd have some pretty hysterical early hours of the morning trying to figure out how to pronounce all those last names from Jersey and New York. But ESA head tabulator Ruth Gatola avoided the wine, and she spent her days improving the tabulation process so competitors could get faster results. She worked with Tom McLaren to build better computerized tabulation sheets, heat sheets, and using digital storage of membership data and championship results. This data then, in the future, easily retrieved so that we could document the rising careers of CJ and Kelly and Benny and so many others. Then along came J.R. Brotherton, a member of the North Central Florida ESA district, a computer nerd extraordinaire, who donated his Embry-Riddle student website to the ESA. He used a lot of code to build it, and voila, the ESA was on the World Wide Web. You now know it as surfesa.org, right? Well, back then, the URL was about the length of a football field, and I came to Expo and set up the ESA booth, and I wanted to promote the fact that ESA had a website out there, and I had to scotch tape 3 pieces of paper together that had the URL typed out on it, and it ended in a .edu. But the ESA was now able to be seen worldwide, thanks to a student and a surfer from our North Central Florida district. I want to talk a little bit more about how the success of the ESA is because of this culture of service back to the sport. A team of marketing geniuses, Lauren Wooten-Walker and Stealth Marketing's Robin Forte, former Delmarva ESA surfer, helped me raise the exposure of the ESA and the Easterns to new heights with their marketing assistance and sponsorship assistance. Couldn't have done it without them. 2 ESA student surfers from Florida, up-and-comers Matt Katsolis and Jason Pym, took the ESA under the wing of their fledgling graphic arts company, Sharkinetics, and gained real-life experience by creating a state-of-the-art website, videos, and a new graphic style for the forward-facing ESA. Jason and Matt each has their own highly successful digital careers now, but it started with the ESA and their service to the ESA. And I have to mention that we had a tweaked for the better ESA logo by one awesome dude, Rudy Rojas, who at the time was a graphic designer for Flowhose, and now he's gone on to establish his own successful Native American-focused marketing firm. I also had the incredible honor to be part of a collaborative effort with OP's Dick Baker and SEMA's Terry McCann and Reef's Fernando Aguirre and Surfing's Bob McNona and PT and many others. We all had a vision for amateur surfing with Olympic goals. Terry and Dick brought the ESA, NSSA, and HSA to the table to collaborate on this vision, work together, and shake hands on a structured, fair, and equitable national governing body for amateur surfing. And it was such a loss to this effort with the unfortunate passing of both Dick and Terry. An NGB should support, elevate, and amplify the success of its member organizations. This work is messy, it's still a work in process, but I have hope for the future. But now the current executive director of the ESA, Michelle Summers, has her own vision to make sure the ESA and East Coast surfing remain powerhouses with high-tech computer scoring, live heats on the internet, a partnership with the World Surfing League. It's absolutely incredible, and I really am so thrilled that Michelle is taking the ESA where it's going. We've had an amazing 50-plus year history, and Michelle is keeping us well situated to keep making history in the next 50 years. And I apologize if this just sounds like a big list of thank yous, but it's truly because I could not have accomplished what I did in the ESA without their guidance, assistance, vision, and inspiration. So again, thank you to the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame for this award. I am absolutely humbled, and I feel privileged to have been a blip in this timeline and honored to have worked with such an incredible community of people who have given their time and love to the sport of East Coast surfing. Congratulations to the class of 2022, and I will follow Matt in that I better say a big thank you to my sweetie, my husband Jeff Phillips, who all these years was out there on scaffolds hanging banners for me and was listening to me bitching at home at night when things weren't going right. And he's just been huge amount of wind beneath my wings, and thank you very much, Jeff.